Good evening. It's just past 6 o'clock and it's Saturday the 7th of May, and I hope you're having a good weekend. In the news this week, 2 direct trains per hour will once again run from Weymouth to London Waterloo, following the introduction of South Western Railway's new timetable on Sunday the 15th of May. Since the onset of COVID-19 pandemic, 1 train per hour has run on the route to reflect the reduced number of people travelling by rail. But South West Railways will now reintroduce a 2nd train to strengthen service levels. As well as offering an improved service to London and a later evening return to Dorset, the upgrade also means journey times from many stations will be reduced compared to South West Railway's previous timetable. Connections with local buses will also be enhanced, with wait times significantly shorter thanks to the new service. The timetable uplift comes as a host of other improvements happening locally at Weymouth Station, all currently underway. And these include an upgrade of the station's forecourt, which includes new bus stop facilities. This work is being delivered by the Dorset Coastal Forum and part funded by South Western Railway's Customer and Communities Improvement Fund. The refurbishment of the canopy on platforms 2 and 3 is also being funded by Network Rail. And a new joint base for South West Railway's local rail community officers and the British Transport Police, improving joint working for them at Weymouth Station. And the installation of a living wall, a self-sufficient vertical garden proven to combat air pollution and increase biodiversity and improve personal well-being. And the establishment of an AMT cafe, which donates 100% of its profits to supporting people experiencing homelessness. So that's all good news there for the railways and services from Weymouth if you use those. More frequent services and quicker travelling times reintroduced, which is obviously to be welcomed. Now, Portland Port, still on the transport front, is expecting a very busy cruise season, with a fantastic 62 cruise liners with around 112,000 passengers booked to pay a visit this year. Yesterday saw the huge Norwegian Getaway cruise, I think it's not Gateway, Getaway cruise, which you can see on the screen, pay a visit. It's one of the largest cruise ships that there are. The cruise ship season runs through to mid-November, and of course many of these passengers will disembark whilst in Port and Gulf to explore the local area of Weymouth and South Dorset. And there'll also be some special visitors such as the Disney Magic cruise liner in mid-September, which I know lots of people look out for. Now, Weymouth people are being encouraged to celebrate the Queen's Platinum Jubilee by taking part in a free, family-friendly story trail. The story trail is running in Weymouth from now through until the 12th of June. It's organised by We Are Weymouth and High Street Safari. To take part, you can follow the online activity map and scan QR codes along the trail to meet Sir Barnaby and the Beacon and his friends all along the way of the trail. The trail takes around 45 minutes, and as we say, it's free of charge, which is really good. Now, to find out more, you can go to www.jubileebeacontrail.com. www.jubileebeacontrail.com. Not often that you get something free for the family, but it's free, so why not have a go? Now, strict new laws have been introduced for anyone who shops in supermarkets. The Police, Crime, Sentencing and Courts Act will see retail workers better protected from abuse in the workplace, as the new legislation introduces tougher penalties against customers who attack shop workers. The new laws have come into force following a concerning rise in abuse during the pandemic. Over 35,000 retail staff in the UK were attacked or suffered abuse during 2021, and nearly half of these were attacked using a weapon. It's absolutely unbelievable. 35,000 people attacked in our supermarkets. Now, James Lohman, who's the Chief Executive Officer of the Association of Convenience Stores, said, "We strongly welcome the introduction of this Act, which the retail sector has been calling for over a number of years. It's essential that penalties for attacking a shop worker it's important that penalties for attacking a shop worker serve as an effective deterrent. Introducing tougher sentences for those who attack people providing a service to the public, including shop workers, marks a significant step forward, but it does not solve the problem itself." There we go. Now, also on new laws, motorists could face large fines as the laws on vehicle number plates and how lettering is displayed changed back in March. And the changes had very little publicity. The new plates designs will withstand more wear and tear and are easier for cameras and automatic number plate recognition devices to read. For some people, it will mean their existing registration plates may now be illegal. So what are the changes? Well, any new registration plate produced will need to meet British standards for reflective number plates and include the following features. The lettering, the number plates will have to display solid black lettering. They cannot feature a 3D effect. This is now illegal. The spacing, the character size and the font size should follow set guidelines. The space between the characters and the margins at the top and bottom must be at least 11 mil. The space between the age identifier and the random letters must be 33 millimeters. The characters must be 50 millimeters wide and 79 millimeters tall. However, the letter L and the number 1 are not as wide, it says. The font has to be the same. It has to be what's called a Charles Wright font. Now, apart from some classic cars or historic vehicle exceptions, front number plates should have a white background and rear plates a yellow background. Letter and number formation should also follow the specific year format. For example, newer models have 2 letters, that's the first registration identifier, followed by 2 numbers, the year first registered. These random letters then, and then 3 random letters then follow this. Letters and numbers can't be rearranged or spaced incorrectly, as this is illegal. Now, some people close up that spacing or change the spacing to make it look like their name, their surname or their first name. That is now illegal. Plates can still be made of acrylic or perspex as long as the criteria is met. Now, when you purchase new plates, it's now a requirement that the name and postcode of the business that produces them is also displayed on the plate. Also now, as we've left the EU, that you won't have the GB and the EU flag on there. You will now be able to have UK and either the Union Jack, and I think you can even have the St George's flag as well if you prefer the English flag. So the flag will be the Union Jack or the St George's flag, and it will now have UK on it instead of Great Britain. There is a fine of up to £1,000 for incorrectly displayed registration plates, and you will also now fail your MOT if it doesn't meet the standards. So I think there's quite a few people that might be affected by this when you see the number of people driving around with the plates that have been adjusted to make them look like their name or to say something. Now, residents in Weymouth are invited to a free community picnic event on Sunday the 15th of May, where they can meet the new Mayor of Weymouth. And I don't think they're actually officially telling us who the new Mayor is. I think they know who it's planned to be, but it does need for them to be elected. So I think they're just being careful in case something goes wrong. The event is at Lodmore Country Park, next to the Children's Galleon Play Area, from 1 o'clock to 3:30. That's on Sunday the 15th of May. This will be an opportunity for residents to meet the newly elected Mayor of Weymouth, who will be announced at our full council meeting on Wednesday the 11th of May, so we'll know this week. Town councillors and officers will also be there talking about various projects and services. They'll be joined by the Friends of Lodmore Country Park, who will be showcasing their work in helping to protect, improve and promote the park. There will also be a variety of free activities, music and entertainment at the event. Why not have a go at pebble painting, get your face painted, and why not make the most of your surroundings by having a go at the Lodmore Tree Trail to learn all about the trees growing in the country park. As part of the event, the Mayor's Community Awards will be presented to unsung heroes who have been nominated by their community in recognition of selfless work that they do for others. Now, Dorset police officers are investigating an assault in Weymouth and are appealing for witnesses or anyone with information to come forward. A man and woman were walking with their dog in Abbotsbury Road at around 8:15 p.m. on Sunday the 1st of May, that's just last Sunday, when they became involved in a verbal exchange with 2 female teenagers. A short time later, the couple were in an alleyway between Dennis Road and the Marsh playing fields when they were approached by two male teenagers. The man tried to walk past them and was struck to the head before being punched and kicked to the face and body. The woman tried to intervene and was also assaulted by the two male teenagers, as well as one of the female teenagers that they had seen earlier, who had then returned to the scene. Residents from nearby houses came out to intervene, and the teenagers made off towards Chickerell Road. The male victim sustained a head injury that required hospital treatment, as well as cuts and bruises to his body and a sprained ankle. The female victim sustained cuts under her eyes and bruising, as well as scratches to the back of her neck. The female teenagers involved are described as being aged around 14 years old. One was said to be about 5 feet 2 inches tall, of petite build with blonde shoulder-length hair, and was wearing teal green leggings and a sports top. The other is described as 5 feet 4 inches tall with brown hair and was wearing a white vest top with braces and black leggings. The two male teenagers are both described as being aged around 16 years old and about 5 feet 10 inches tall. One was said to have dark curly hair and was wearing a dark tracksuit, as well as carrying what was described as a man bag with 2 zips. The other described as wearing a white baseball cap, black face mask and black tracksuit. Now, if you know anything about that incident, whether you saw anything of it, or you saw people running off from the scene, or you might have heard people talking about it, then do ring Dorset Police on 101, or you can give information anonymously via Crime Stoppers charity by calling free phone 0800 555 111. That's 0800 555 111. Now, an appeal for help of a different type now from the coroner for Dorset, who is seeking the assistance of the public in Weymouth to find the next of kin of a woman who died in Weymouth recently. Rachel Jones, who was 42 years old, died at her home address in Lennox Street this week on Thursday the 5th of May. That's Rachel Jones, 42 years old, of Lennox Street in Weymouth, who died on Thursday 5th of May. Her death has not been treated as suspicious, and there's no police investigation needed into the death. The coroner's officer, Pip Morgan, said, "We are not treating the death as suspicious. However, we have not been able to locate her next of kin." So if any member of the public has any knowledge of her family members, please contact the coroner's office as soon as possible. And the number for that is 01202 118 939. That's if you know anything about a Rachel Jones of Lennox Street, aged 42 years old, who died this week. If you know anything about her family members or how to get hold of her family members, then call the coroner's office on 01202 118 939. Now on to Dorset and Somerset Air Ambulance. They are holding their ever popular Coast to Coast Cycle Challenge on Sunday the 15th of May, and is hoping that the public will come out in support of those taking part. The event, which they say is not a race, involves cycling through some of Dorset and Somerset's most beautiful countryside, with a mixture of quiet back roads interspersed with some very demanding climbs and equally hairy descents. The event offers something for everyone. This year's 55-mile route will revert back to starting at Watchet Harbour in Somerset at 11 AM and finish in the Dorset Seaside Resort West Bay. A shorter 11-mile route will start at the Royal Oak Public House in Drimpton at 2 PM, and that will also finish in West Bay as well. Supporters will be able to cheer the cyclists on at the starting point and at various pit stops along the route, or at the finish line celebrations, which will take part in Station Yard Car Park in West Bay. Now, the Coast to Coast Cycle Challenge is renowned for being an emotional and inspiring day for everyone involved. That's no surprise, given the fact that the cyclists include patients who have experienced the work of Dorset and Somerset Air Ambulance firsthand, or are cycling in memory of loved ones. Others get involved as part of a team or simply want to challenge themselves and support the charity in return. Now, of course, it is a fundraising event, so you can support people, you can donate money, or you can take part. If you want any more information at all about the Coast to Coast Charity Cycle Challenge for Dorset and Somerset Air Ambulance, go along to their website at www.dsairambulance.org.uk. That's www.ds for Dorset and Somerset airambulance.org.uk, or give them a call on 01823 669 604. That's 01823 669 604. Now, Weymouth Town Council, the new skate park and parkour facility opened ahead of schedule on Friday, April the 29th, and there's a fantastic picture of it up there on the screen. It's providing a brand new place to skate and scoot for local people. The £358,000 park was built by local skate park company Maverick. It includes a wide variety of features to provide opportunity for skaters, BMX bikers and scooter riders to practice their skills in a space that they have helped design themselves. Alongside the skate park is a separate bespoke parkour area for the local free running community. That's those people that sort of run and jump between buildings and that sort of thing. That's what parkour area is. A special event to celebrate the opening of this new facility will take place on Saturday the 2nd of July and will be attended by the Mayor of Weymouth. Designs for the bespoke facility produced by Maverick were put out to consultation last summer with an event held at the Marsh. Feedback received from young people was then incorporated into the final plans. Planning permission for the scheme was approved last November and work was completed on site just ahead of schedule. Following the required safety inspection on Friday the 29th of April, the new facility opened ahead of the bank holiday weekend. And finally, in our headlines tonight, back to something related to the Jubilee. Weymouth Town Council has said that the deadline for the chance to apply for funds towards a Queen's Platinum Jubilee event grant is this week on the 11th of May. There are some great events taking place across the town after groups successfully applied for grants from Weymouth Town Council. However, anyone wishing still to apply can do so before the extended closing date of 4 p.m. on Wednesday the 11th of May. That's 4 p.m. Wednesday the 11th of May. Now, events so far supported includes our very own Parish of White Regis All Saints with St Edmund's Church's Community Fun Day on the 2nd of June here in White, with lots of things going on. A community picnic at the Marsh organised by Western Community Group. The Friends of Greenell Gardens are holding a street party on the tennis courts by the gardens, and the Friends of Radipole Park Gardens will hold a raffle in aid of funding a defibrillator during the fun day at the Old Spa pub. Littermore Community Action Group applied to have a street party style event at the local community centre, and South Hill Park and Recreation for Kids are holding a community event. Sutton Point Society hosting an exhibition, and the 3rd White Regis Guide Unit are also holding a picnic. So all of those have got support from Weymouth Town Council. Now, funding of up to £500 per group is available to meet the cost of community events over the special bank holiday weekend, Thursday the 2nd to Sunday the 5th of June 2022. Now, I have to say our local council, since it's become a town council, has been absolutely exceptional in giving grants and supporting local charities and local organisations to do things for the community, and that's the one real positive thing since we have got a town council. And actually, believe it or not, they often struggle to give these grants out. So if you're thinking they won't support you, why not take a few minutes just to put a little application in? You don't know, they might support your community event and enable you to celebrate within your group, your charity, or the community that you live in, something special for the Queen's Silver Jubilee, Queen's Platinum Jubilee. Now, the money will not be able to fund a sort of traditional street party for just residential streets, but it can fund parties for community groups. So if a community group wants to hold a street party style event in a community hall space or outdoor green, then that will be considered. Grants are not available obviously for commercial events. Now, if you're interested in applying for a grant, everything you need is on the Weymouth Town Council website, and that's at www.weymouthtowncouncil.gov.uk, and you'll find all the information under the events section. Applications close at 4 p.m. on Wednesday the 11th of May. That's this coming Wednesday, 4 p.m. So, you know, don't moan if you don't get it. If you don't put in, you've got no chance. So do consider putting in an application there and getting some funding from the local council. Now, that's the end of our headlines tonight. Our first article this week is Janet Hall, as usual. And Janet this week is looking at World Fair Trade Day. which this year falls very, very soon on the 14th of May. So let's hear from Janet now.
World Fair Trade Day is held on the second Saturday of May, so this year it is on May the 14th. Its purpose is to celebrate the contributions to the fight against poverty, exploitation and climate change. The fair trade movement is all about ensuring that workers around the globe are treated fairly, with decent wages and working conditions. There are thousands of people currently working in unfavourable conditions and being paid poorly. It shouldn't really matter where someone lives. Everyone deserves to be treated with respect. In the 1940s, a woman named Edna Ruth Byler sold textiles from the trunk of her car. She was a wife, mother and entrepreneur. And though she didn't know it then, she would help start a new movement. In 1946, Byler went to the La Plata Valley in Puerto Rico and met a woman who was going through hard times. She was struggling to feed her family after the Depression, and Byler was inspired to do something. Byler noticed all of the fine embroideries the women in the area created and thought of expanding their business by selling their work to her friends and her neighbours. By the 1950s, she had started her small business, using her car filled with needlework to women's sewing circles and at parties all across the country. As she did this, she told the American people where these works of art came from and the workmanship of the women. In so doing, it gave the women of La Plata Valley economic security, and it gave Byler success in her own life. What started out as a seemingly small act of kindness then became a movement as the business became 10,000 villages. Around the world, people were starting to realise that workers needed to be taken care of. Formerly the International Federation of Alternative Traders, the World Fair Trade Organization was created in 1989. They would hold yearly conferences for groups working in fair trade to decide on the best practices pertaining to working conditions. And in 2004, they created World Fair Trade Day. The continuing goal is to fight against poverty and exploitation, climate change, and the economic crisis to ensure that those who are most vulnerable in society are protected. If you want to help, do go and visit the Fair Trade Shop, which I'm sure you know is just beside the steps at Holy Trinity Church. They're going to be celebrating World Fair Trade Day by offering 20% discount on all items sold all day on the 14th of May. Why not go along? There'll be something there that you will like. And you will be helping to fight against poverty.
Well, thank you very much, Janet, for that report. And there's a lovely little shop there by the Holy Trinity Church steps. And what I would say, if you're looking for something different to give somebody for a present, for a birthday or Christmas, then they've got some fantastic gifts there, all handmade by people from all over the world. And of course, especially cards, as handmade cards and all sorts of things. And if you like giving somebody a hamper for Christmas, you can go in there and get all sorts of sort of fair trade products to make a really super hamper. So do always think about the fair trade shop there if you're looking for something a little bit different. Now, last week I gave you a taster of an interview that I did with Les Seamark as part of our series of speaking to people about their memories as we come up towards the Queen's Platinum Jubilee. So this week I'm going to let you see the full interview that I did with Les Seamark over the last bank holiday weekend, talking about some of Les's memories of Wyke and Weymouth, and I'm sure you will share some of these memories as well with Les. As part of our Platinum Jubilee memories, I'm joined this week by Les Seamark from Wyke Regis. So Les, tell us about where you were born.
Well, I spent my childhood just down over the hill along Chickwell Road. I spent, my parents' house was Markham Avenue, which is just at the base of the what I call the fields, which is Markham and Little Francis. Markham, Curtis Fields, that's right. Curtis, that's right. And I spent that was my stomping ground, so to speak. I spent all my childhood in those fields from morning till night. And I always remember, I would get to about 12:30 midday, and I think you could sniff the air and think it must be time to go home for dinner now, because we used to eat our dinner at lunchtime, midday or 1 o'clock. And then I would go off again in the afternoon, and 5 o'clock in the evening, it must be tea time, and I spent my childhood.
So Les, think about your childhood and perhaps some of the buildings that are no longer there. I guess the Sydney Hall is perhaps one that was around but is no longer there. Do you have any memories of that?
Sydney Hall, that's right. I remember it being there. I only ever went in once or twice. My sister, who's just under 5 years older than me, she used to go roller skating. And so she was 13, 14. I was 8. Could I roller skate? No. But I used to go in and watch her. So I remember that, and I remember it being demolished. And behind was what we called the Rec, which was a recreation ground, a football ground. It's all Asda now, isn't it, of course? Small Sydney Hall at the back, wasn't there, of the main one. The odd jumble cell went in there, didn't it? So I do remember that, yes.
What about the seafront, Les, and I guess something like the Pier Bandstand, because I guess that was still in use then?
That's right. It wasn't too late for its heyday, I think, but I can remember it being, they blew it up with dynamite, and it just went down in one big lump. Bit of an anticlimax, really, because we were expecting to see it break into millions of pieces. There's one massive reinforced concrete slab, and then they had to break it all apart over the next few weeks, etc. Yes, remember that one. Yes.
What about North Quay and the old council offices? There were lots of old properties there before it was knocked down, and I guess these days they'd never be allowed to do that, would they?
Oh no, that was all historic. There was some Tudor houses along there, I believe, too. I can remember the street. I was very young. It was all boarded up and derelict. Then obviously they demolished it. And there was this massive warehouse called the Phoenix, which was down at the Holy Trinity church end of the street. And I remember they wanted to demolish that. And the council insisted that they put lots of protective boarding around the street side to protect the public. And they waited for the council officers to go home, 6 o'clock in the evening, and they got all their diggers and things back out, all their plant back out. They put a massive steel hawser around it and pulled the thing over. And it took about 10 minutes to demolish the lot. Don't think the councillors were too happy about that. I can remember that, yes.
I guess over your years, Les, you've got memories of many historic events that have happened, such as the first man landing on the moon. What's your recollection of that?
I do remember that. How old was I then? Apollo 13, I think that one was, wasn't it? But the actual landing was about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. So we used to watch all the news items, etc. But the actual landing, we watched 6 o'clock next day, basically.
Did you have TV in those days?
Yes, we had TV, yes. We started off, we had our 14-inch television that our dad made a wooden stand for that one, quite high up. So we were looking up like this. And when you turn the television off at night, you see the little dot disappear. Old valve sets, weren't they?
And what about any of the royal events, such as the Silver Jubilee or the Golden Jubilee? Did you get involved in any street parties or anything like that?
We had a Silver Jubilee. Again, I was about 19 years old, I think, at the Silver Jubilee. We did have a street party in Markham Avenue, but I wasn't involved. I had a nice young girlfriend, and I disappeared overnight somewhere, but not talk too much about. I think that was Brockenhurst. We won't talk about too much about that one.
Now let's turn to something different. What about your memories of Portland Harbour and the old railway running to Portland, which is one of the sad things that I never saw and wish I had?
It was operational for freight, for stone. The stone was being brought down off the island. Passengers had long since gone, probably before I was born. I did go on one of the last, there was 3 commemorative trains, 1965 I think, and I went on one of those. It took us right up round the corner, up round along the West Cliff, yes, right into Easton. Yeah, lovely railway, beautiful, beautiful scenery. Shame, as you say, shame it's gone.
One of the things I remember from my childhood was going into town on a Saturday morning to the Saturday morning pictures at 10 o'clock. Is that something that you did when you were younger?
Saturday morning pictures, or Saturday morning flicks, we called it. Yes, 6pence downstairs and 9pence upstairs. Yes. And I always went to the 9pennies, and yet we weren't very wealthy either, but I got 9pence to go to the pictures.
Are there any other memories of any other buildings or events that you can think that you'd like to share with us today?
There was the old Gaumont, wasn't there? Well, same building, is it? The Saturday morning, the Gaumont. Yes, that was. Is now that. Is that pub in St Mary Street now? Isn't it? That's Rectory, and that's closed again. That's right. And if you stand out in the street just in front of the Rectory, there are 2 arches there. You have to walk up steps to get into this present Rectory now. And those 2 arches were the big long tunnels we walked through to get out to the back where the auditorium was. And it's incredible that that's where we walked through. I'm pretty sure of that.
It's strange that when they took the cinema down, there's sort of a big house there, isn't it? And it must have been there and hidden that you walked through.
That's right. Exactly that. It was above these long tunnels that we used to walk through to get. It was all up above, that's right.
Okay, bringing us bang up to date to finish with, of course we're now heading towards the Queen's Platinum Jubilee at the beginning of June. What are your plans for the Platinum Jubilee? Have you got anything planned that you're going to be involved in, a street party or some event for the public or anything?
Well, I shall be involved here at All Saints with the church with tower visits up into the bell tower of this church here. We're going to have a teddy bear zip wire, which will be a great fun. We did it a couple of years ago, and the children and adults alike loved it. It was inclement weather at the time, so we had the zip wire from the hatch inside the ringing chamber, and that was super duper. That was good. And I believe we're going to have a barbecue and some music in the evening. And that's before the lighting of the beacon at 9:45, isn't it, I believe? Which is part of a national spectacle, I believe, yes.
Excellent. Well, that's something to look forward to for the Queen's Silver Jubilee in Wyke. Certainly the chance to get up onto the top of the tower, if it's a day with the sun out and no clouds, to see the view all the way to Portland and back across round to Hardy's Monument, will certainly be worthwhile. So watch out for the information on that. And thank you, Les, for spending some time talking to us this evening about your memories of Weymouth and Wyke Regis. And if anybody else has got any memories they want to share with us, and either speak to myself or Janet Hall, do give us a call. Drop us an email on news at wykeregis.tv, and we'll be happy to have a chat with you. There we go. That was me speaking to Les Seamark a couple of weekends ago over the bank holiday weekend, and some of his memories of Wyke and Weymouth. And interestingly, there's a few years between Les and myself, but interestingly, some of his memories are very similar to mine, like going to the cinema. Well, there we go. Didn't change much when I was younger. And again, if you'd like to speak about your memories to us, do drop us an email, news@wykeregis.tv, and either Janet or myself will have a chat with you and capture those memories so that they are there for future generations. Well, we come to that time of the programme where it's time for the national weather forecast. And this week, I think we are joined by Alex Deakin. So let's go over and see if Alex is there for us.
Welcome to your national weather update. I can't promise blue skies and sunshine for everyone all weekend, but for most it's going to be a dry and a bright weekend. thanks to high pressure, which will control our weather, certainly for most of Sunday. There are some weather fronts approaching. Heading out on Saturday evening, well, most places are going to be dry, maybe the odd shower over northern England, southwest Scotland, but that should fade, as will any patchy rain across the southeast, leading to a dry start to Sunday. And again, for most, Sunday's dry and bright, probably a brighter day for East Anglia and the southeast, more sunshine here. Again, there will be some areas of cloud, and particularly the northwest, with a weak weather front pushing in here, chance of a bit of patchy rain certainly across the Western Isles. But for most, Sunday is again dry and bright with some reasonably strong sunshine, lifting the temperatures more widely up into the high teens, low 20s. Again, some coasts will be noticeably cooler, particularly with the breeze coming in from the North Sea. But generally pretty warm where we see the sunny spells this weekend. Just a cautionary note, UV levels are getting high at this time of year, so you may need the sunscreen this weekend. Subscribe to our YouTube channels and you'll never miss a forecast, and make sure you're following us right across social media.
There we go. Thank you very much, Alex, there for the weekend weather forecast. Looks like a nice day tomorrow. Sunday, been a bit changeable today. Sunny 1 minute, cloudy the next. Been wondering if we get some rain. I haven't managed to get any rain yet by the time we start the programme, so we'll see whether we do by the end of the evening. Now, the local weather for the week ahead. Let's see what it entails. Well, there we go. Nice sort of average temperatures this week. Very little chance of rain as we get through the rest of the week. Maybe cloudy and sunny, a bit like Saturday's been. You know, the clouds come over and the sun goes in, and then the clouds move on and the sun comes out again, and so not too bad. But we do need some of that rain. I mean, we are in growing season, so as well as the sun, we do need a little bit of rain, but hopefully we'll get some during the night occasionally in the weeks ahead. Now, looking at our traffic and travel. Now, there are still some surface dressing works underway at various stages. I think the work mainly in Russell Avenue and Williams Avenue is now complete. I'm not sure what the status of Walker Crescent is. That was due to be done, but I haven't actually been that way and been able to check. So there's also roadworks in Longcroft Road and Dorchester Road where delays may be occurred, and other street works where delays are thought to be unlikely are High Street, Wyke, Portland Road, Wyke, South Down Road, Quibo Lane, Ilchester Road, Queensland Road, Stanley Street, Carlton Road South, Coniston Road, Beaumont Avenue and Mayfield Close, and possibly others that haven't been notified. On the trains this weekend and the week ahead, the only things affecting services from Weymouth that I can find is a bus replacement service this weekend between Southampton Airport Parkway and Bournemouth and Poole if you're travelling from Weymouth to Waterloo on the trains. There we go. Now on to our What's On section. Weymouth Pavilion, 10th of May, Paul Merton's Impro Chums. 12th of May, Ian Waite and Vincent Simone, Act 2 of the popular Strictly Dancers tour. May the 15th, Carpenter's Gold. 18th of May, One Night of Elvis. 21st of May, Soul Sisters the Musical. And 22nd of May, the Simon and Garfunkel Story. So lots of different musical things there for lots of different tastes. So if one of those takes your fancy, go along to the Weymouth Pavilion website at weymouthpavilion.com or phone the box office on 01305 783 225. Now things are opening up now and operational for the summer season at the Knowth Fort. And their next main event will be Dorset Arts Week, May the 21st to 29th. Obviously the Platinum Jubilee celebrations from the 2nd of June to the 5th of June, and a Victorian weekend in July. But of course it is open for tours and teas and all sorts of things going on there as normal during this time of year. Now just reiterating that the Platinum Jubilee celebrations are coming up, and in White Cregis on Thursday the 2nd of June there's a community fun day based in the grounds of the church at All Saints Church in Wyke. There's going to be a Teddy Zipwire, there's going to be a treasure hunt, there will be tower tours which you will be able to pre-book online. There's going to be bookstall, refreshments, I think there's cream teas, all sorts of things going on. In the evening from 7 PM there will be a barbecue, and there's live music from the Coves. There's a free entry event, you obviously just pay for any food from the barbecue. So free event, live music from the Coves, and then there will be a beacon lighting at 9:45. There's a special beacon being installed on the top of the tower, and the bells will be rung at 9:45 when all the beacons across the country are all lit at the same time. Now there's information about that on the Parish of White Regis website at www.parishofwhiteregis.org.uk, including posters you can download and print and leaflets you can download and print as well. If you are organising an event in Wyke or Weymouth or South Dorset to celebrate the Platinum Jubilee, do let us know. We'll be happy to promote your events as well, to make sure that everybody knows what's going on and they have a choice of things going on over those few days that they can attend. As always, send it in to news@whiteregis.tv. Now, we do have a film review for you this week, and it's a film that we mentioned sometime late last year, but work is proceeding on it, and it is not going to be out to later this year, but they have released a new trailer. It's the DC Super League of Pets. In DC Super League of Pets, Krypto the Superdog and Superman are inseparable best friends, sharing the same superpowers and fighting crime in Metropolis side by side. When Superman and the rest of the Justice League are kidnapped, Krypto must convince a ragtag shelter pack, Ace the Hound, PB the pot-bellied pig, Merton the turtle and Chip the squirrel to master their own newfound powers and help him rescue the superheroes. Obviously a family-friendly, fun film for everyone. Warner Brother Pictures presents a $7 production, DC League of Super Pets. It's going to be released and in theatres internationally beginning on the 27th of July 2022, and it will actually be released in the UK and in cinemas in the UK from the 29th of July. So here we are, DC Super League of Pets, new trailer released just a day or so ago. See what's coming up in September.
All right, TV night with my bro.
Oh, you're going on a date with Lois? So disrespectful.
Oh, hey there, little fella.
Nah.
Wake up, buddy. It is walk o'clock.
I have an owner. He's Superman.
And I'm up.
Make him sing to this thing like a melody.
My dog's the best. But he's not the greatest with other animals.
This just seems gross.
What do you mean gross? Smelling stuff is one of the greatest joys of being a dog, next to licking any part of your body. And I lick myself all the time.
Well, that explains the breath.
Superman. I am Lulu, and you will kneel before me, you piece of...
Aw, aren't you a little ray of sunshine?
I told you long ago.
What's going on? You're invulnerable.
I should be a lot more dead right now, right? All of us have superpowers.
Still working out the kinks. I didn't see anything. Are you okay?
My best friend is in danger, and you have to help me.
You know what they say about dogs, don't you?
Never feed us chocolate.
We love unconditionally. We're just a bunch of shelter pets. But we're stronger than you think. We'll help you get your dumb owner back.
Ace, deploy canine shield.
What is a canine?
Evade! Excellent shielding. That seemed incredibly painful.
Why can't I have gotten a magic hammer or something?
What do I have here?
Squeezy Bruce!
Fetch!
That better be a licensed toy or I will freak out.
There we go, that's DC Super League of Pets from Warner Brother Pictures that will be released in the UK in cinemas 29th of July this year. Something to look forward to. Well, we're just about there to the end of another weekly news programme. Just chance to remind you that services tomorrow at All Saints Church in Wyke are 0800 and 0930. The 9:30 will be live stream, and 11 o'clock at St Edmund's Church. Now, in just a short while, we will have our Saturday evening quiz. The stream will go live at 7:15 for the quiz to start promptly at 7:30. Everyone is welcome to join. It's a free community event for anyone from Weymouth, Wyke, South Dorset, England, the world, who can attend, who wants to. It doesn't matter if you're not good at quizzes or not, just join us for fun online on a Saturday evening. And also to say that A Year in Gardening with Clive Gray, we put the latest May episode out Friday evening at 7. That will go out again on Sunday evening at 4 p.m. Of course, you can replay the videos if you don't want to watch it when it runs live for you. In this episode, Clive is planting out strawberries, putting some weed suppression stuff down in the garden, and planting out some sweet peas, among other things. Clive is planning to go back to fortnightly episodes as well because of popular demand, so that will be nice to see, particularly as we get into that highlight of the gardening season and all the work that goes on in the garden over the summer. Now, if you've got any questions for Clive or anything that you might want him to include in his programmes, do drop us a line at news@whitecourageous.tv. We will let Clive know, and he's more than happy to consider including that in his programme. So there we go, we've got to the end. If you've got any news, any events, anything for Clive for his gardening, or anything else that you want to contact us about, do drop us a line at news@whitecourageous.tv. We'll be more than happy to hear from you. If not, we look forward to being back with you next Saturday at 6 o'clock, and I hope some of you will join me shortly for our Saturday evening quiz. Good night.